Is Luna in the chair behind
Oh, I didn't
you?
even know she was there.
Yeah. So it's
Aw.
Sean, myself, and our friend Roger and Luna Bear. She's joining us for this Final Fantasy VII tier ranking Chaos Edition. So I did a tier ranking of the mini games, which what is even considered a mini game in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? I don't know. There's just so many weird random things you have to do. But I did a version of this, and then I thought it'd be fun to argue with Sean / Grin and Barrett and Roger about where we should rank the mini games. So I'm really excited because yeah, Roger, you were saying you have no idea how we feel about some of these.
There was
I-
too many.
I don't know if we have two wildly different opinions about some of these. So
Yeah, I mean the only thing
you
Roger
said
knows
argue
for
with Sean, but I don't. There's not going to be one where I'm like, actually, that is S tier. You know, like
Well,
I
I might
thought.
come for you. So you never
Yeah, I know. I think there might be some arguing from Roger, but
Okay.
Sean, there's a couple I don't think we agree with entirely. But I will say, Roger, on IGN, when I was looking at, because I was trying to make a list of the mini games because I didn't want to forget because there's so many, and they first off they considered just capturing chocobos to be a mini game, and I'm like, I don't think that's a mini game. Is it? I don't know.
No.
It's kind of hard to tell. There's a lot going on in this game, but
I mean, the game is 75% mini games, but that is not one of them.
yeah, but they had
There
they
are
did
like
not
different ways to capture the chocobos, though.
Ish, you
That's
kind of
true.
just throw something to distract it and then jump on its back, like
Yeah.
in various forms.
You hit a switch so that like some little cart moves and
You have
then
to
you sneak along.
around. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, IGN had Moogle Mischief not at the bottom, which I think is a crime. So that's the only one that Roger knows for sure, because I had messaged you about it ahead of time where I was like, I hate these things so much. But anyway, we have a bunch, so we'll
ready. You're like, shut up.
yes. So slow. I just lose my mind when I hear their stupid voices making fun of you. I hate them. You know, I think I
Get
have
over it,
something
Koopa.
about yeah. I think there's something about the cool character made to look like a complete idiot where he's like slipping on banana peels and they have the dumb little like things on his head whenever you get hit and stuff where I'm just like, but Cloud's so cool. And I mean, they already throw him into a bunch of ridiculous stuff anyway, but there's something about that in particular where I'm like, why are we rounding up these stupid Moogles for you? Anyway, so we won't start with that one, but we'll start with Run Wild, which is the one that you have with Red, where you have to like hit the ball, and it's kind of like is the game Rocket League that it sort of resembles a bit?
Ish. I mean, you're not a car.
Yeah, I know. Is it like a sport or something like soccer? Anyway, so Roger, where would you put Run Wild?
I think it's fine. I would personally put it in B. Like, I wasn't mad at it because it was quite different than a lot of the other ones. Some of them start to feel a little bit samey, but that one was fine.
Yeah, Sean, where would you put that one?
I think I agree with B. I neither loved nor hated Run Wild. Sometimes I did get frustrated when you like kick it and then like little posts to go up just in time to knock it away. And you're just like,
infuriating. Yeah.
Like, really? But yeah, I didn't think it was like the worst. So I'd say
You're
B.
both
Like,
nice.
I would play it again. You know, like I was like,
Yeah.
oh, can I get a better time?
Oh, I will
You're
never
both
play
nicer
any of these
than
mini games
me.
again. I don't think.
Then none of them are S tier. Then
I beat them
feel
all. I got the platinum trophy. Never again.
Yeah.
If I ever play that game again, it's just for the story, which like very confusing, and you guys haven't finished it yet. But like,
yeah.
I'm so curious when you get to the ending. It's very. I still don't totally know what happened.
Oh, I accepted. I don't know what's going on a long time ago. I'm just like,
I'm very
just
curious.
wait. It gets really wild.
Yeah, at the time we're filming this, we haven't finished, but by the time this goes up, we might have finished it. But I am doing that thing that I always do with video games, which is where I get to the very end, and then I'm just like, I'm not ready for it to be over. And then I'm like, do you want to play some Ghost? Because I just want to like derp and not have the story be done yet. But anyway, you were both nicer than me because I put Run Wild in the C tier because I think it annoyed me more than I had fun with it. So if it leaned in that camp, then for me that's what made it go into C. But you both, I think you outweigh me here, so we'll go ahead and put it in
Yeah.
B.
Well, that one I didn't really
next.
get stuck on ever. So like it didn't enrage me like some of them. Like I think it
Yeah.
took maybe 2 or 3 tries max. It's not like some of
Yeah.
them where you're like friggin'
Yeah.
3D brawler nonsense.
Okay, I can't wait till we get to that one because I have thoughts about that one too. Pirates Rampage is next, which is the shooter that you kind of go on almost like a bro date with Barrett at first, and then later you go back with I think Aerith for a different mission where you're shooting the little things that pop up. And I thought this was so fun. This is my like it doesn't make any sense, but I'm putting it in top tier because I was so addicted to it. I had so much fun with it, which I know is dumb, but I don't know that I actually think it's top tier quality, but I couldn't get enough. Sean can vouch for me here when I say that he was like, I'm going to bed. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay up and try to get the high score or whatever. So I had a lot of fun with it, but I imagine that neither of you agree, which is totally fine. But Sean, where would you put Pirates Rampage?
Yeah, it was very easy for me to go to sleep and let you keep playing. I was like, oh man, I'm missing out on Pirates Rampage. I'd say B for this one too. I mean, like, I guess maybe slightly more fun than Run Wild, but it's kind of the same level of like I didn't hate it, I didn't love it. It's fine. So I'd say B.
Okay. Roger.
I actually think it's kind of fun, but I don't think it's S tier. I think it's maybe A for me because like it is entertaining, but of like the 2 shooting mini games, it's not. I like the other one better.
Okay, so I think it's fair A tier to balance it out. I mean, I feel like it's actually more of an A tier, but I just had so much fun with it. I don't know why. When I first started, I was like, why can't I? Because they purposefully make it so that what you're used to with those kinds of shooting games, it's like slightly offset with the analog stick and which one you shoot with. So at first it annoyed me, but then once I'm like, oh, but that's the challenge. And then I don't know, I couldn't get enough. It was really satisfying to me. Is the second one the second shooter Galactic Saviors? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah,
of,
the one that I
Roger?
see coming up next.
Yeah. Okay, so that one's is that S tier for you, or is that A but higher than Pirates Rampage?
A, but higher than Pirates Rampage. Because isn't there like a whole game that used to be like that where you would just be like the little ship flying around shooting things, dodging stuff? There's like, it feels like very Atari coded, which was kind of fun.
I agree. I didn't have it in A, I had it in B, but to be fair, I also had Run Wild in C. So for me, I liked this one. My only thing is like there's not much to it. Like I wish there was more progression.
There's more to it than Pirates Rampage. You actually have to
I know.
dodge and heal.
I know. It's weirdly like for what you're gonna give me. Like Pirates Rampage is so simple. Like I don't need a whole lot more. But with this other one, I feel like you could make a whole game and that had like so many different levels to it. So it's almost like I always felt like I was playing a teaser for something bigger, if that makes sense. But I'm not saying I'm being logical. So I would put it in B. So you have it in A, but at the front. Sean, where would you put this one?
I think I'd put in A as well. I think it was fun. It also reminded me of old like arcade games. So
I don't mind
play the
putting
mini
it.
games, or Sean, were you mainly watching and Elle was playing? Like, how did this work?
I think we
would switch.
We both
sometimes.
played a good amount of each.
I
didn't do the punching one that I see coming up. That I think
you tried it for a second.
Oh yeah, then I was like,
I don't want to do this. And you definitely tried. Well, there's one you did that I didn't at all, and then there's a few that I did that Sean didn't. But for the most part, we would like switch off, because it was like, oh, this isn't a huge moment, so let's just have fun trying. Which is true of the next one, which is I'm calling it Fall Guys, but it's Jump Toad. Roger, where would you put Jump Toad?
I hate that mini game so much. I would put it in D. I hate it. It's not even like the minigame itself. It's fighting the friggin' camera that just like drifts to the side while
That's
you're trying to do
true.
anything. It was so irritating that I was like, just let me see what I'm doing. Don't make me fight the camera and jump. I hated it. I hated every minute of both of them because there's also the one where it's like the rotating thing and you have to move onto the different sections or you'll fall. I hated all of it.
So I have Jump Toad in the middle tier just because I liked the little nod to Fall Guys, and I liked that you get to see your characters as toads of all things. Like I liked the camp and the stupidity of it all. I thought that was fun. And it's like a perfectly fine mini game, but that's the thing is B tier for me is just like it was fine. So that's why I have it here. It did not enrage me, but to be fair, you actually, like you were saying before, you got the platinum, so you did all of the really. I could see hating this one if I went all the way, but I'm like, I don't care enough to do this one to the
I got the
very.
high score on every single one of them, and that one was probably one of the more rage-inducing ones of just like being 2 seconds away, and you're like, ooh, if I had just got knocked up a little bit, because sometimes the timer would keep ticking while you were flying, but I was like, no, it hit me down this time. Like it was, I hated it.
Yep. Sean, where would you put Jump Toad?
Easy S tier.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you just jump over
Really?
the thing.
So simplicity is beauty for you.
Yeah,
So it's going into B, I guess.
Yeah, because it averages out to the middle. That's the most discrepancy. Okay, should we put it before
also,
or
I just want to say again, I mean, you already said this, but it's so bizarre. You become frogs. I feel like this is, or toads, I guess. This is I feel like the first part of this game where I was like, I really like this game. You know, like why are the main characters toads all of a sudden? I don't know.
Because we were helping children with a weird fog.
Exactly.
You're helping like One Piece.
And they're like, what? You're just gonna try to leave? And you're like, no, we're gonna stay and I guess play games with you as frogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the kids look like characters from One Piece, which I thought was really random. It's gotta have been intentional, but it was like I'm like, why do they look like this? Anyway, I feel like this game is a lot of shout outs and nods to other games, which is kind of fun. But anyway, so are we putting it ahead or behind Run Wild?
I mean, it has to go behind. I hate it too much. You can't put it ahead of Run Wild.
Okay, I'm not.
I probably don't love it more than Roger hates it. So yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think either of us feel that passionately about it, so that's completely fair. Okay, 3D Brawler. I put this one in the C tier. I really hated parts of it, but I didn't hate it like that rage-inducing thing you're talking about, Roger. I don't think I had that quite as much for this as I had for the Moogles. So in my mind, I'm like, well, it's not as bad as the Moogles. So that's why it's in C. But
did you do the middle manager and the final battle in it, or did you just do up through Ifrit?
I think you did all of them.
I thought we did all of them.
Yeah.
Because I was losing my mind because the differences between the punches was not like drastic enough.
Well, because the end of the 3D Brawler was with 3D Sephiroth, right? So did you beat him too?
Oh, no. Okay, I don't think we did that. Okay.
Because you have to beat the final side quest, and in the final side quest, there's one more version with Shinra Middle Manager, and then if you beat him, you unlock.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So no, we did not do that.
But interestingly, I had a harder time with Middle Manager because he's what you're talking about. I could not tell the difference, and you have to start doing the stupid thing where you like pause when they're trying to do something. You're like, what? Where is your elbow, sir? Because that's what you can do to kind of cheese it-ish, is you can pause while they're doing stuff.
It was just, I don't mind if I have to see something and then assess and respond a certain way, but I feel like the movements have to be just enough where it makes, like, you can see, and then the timing and the reflexes have to be there. Or, I don't know, you gotta, like, lock it in a little better. To me, it just felt a tiny bit clunky. Like, it was too tedious. It was more tedious than fun or strategic, in my opinion. Sean, what do you think?
I'm gonna put D tier only because I tried it once and I was bad, and I think you may be misremembering how frustrated you got playing it.
Yeah, I got frustrated.
You got like pretty mad, and I was like, oh, maybe we can do something else, you know? That was my memory of it. So
I know, but I didn't want to like stab the character in front of me like I wanted to with the Moogles.
Oh, I wanted to cook all of the frogs and let somebody eat their legs. I hated that.
Our
So
entire party.
I'm gonna say D because
Okay.
I wanted everyone to be happy.
Roger, did you say D also?
I didn't say. I mean, it's somewhere
Okay.
between C and D for me. I find it a little bit less rage-inducing because I wasn't also fighting like the friggin' camera the whole time.
Yeah. Okay. D is fine with me. Next up, the Moogles. I don't even need to talk about this. The most rage-inducing, bottom of the bottom, for sure. I hate this so much.
But the
And
cutscene that you get once you do them all.
It wasn't worth it. It wasn't.
I don't know.
Moogles have a history in this franchise as being adorable and a little mischievous, and these were just the worst. They're the worst, and they're weird looking. They're like borderline horror inducing, I feel like. Have you seen the close-ups of their faces?
That's how Alex felt about the baby chocobos. He's like, they're deformed.
No, stop. The baby chocobos are cute. I saw a whole article that I couldn't tell if it was a joke or serious, where somebody just went on and on about how awful the baby chocobos are, and I was like, no, don't put these in
Alex
the same
hates them.
campus.
He thinks they're hideous and deformed.
No.
Every single time he'd be like, stop following me, go away.
No, they're so cute, and when you get like shake their little heads, it's so
little
cute.
The head is as big as their whole body.
I know. It's little as far as like you can hold it, you know, but it's like a massive head for its body. But I mean, real babies have giant heads for their bodies, real human babies. So I feel like in that sense, it makes sense. Anyway, Moogles, are we all in agreement that it's the worst? Is anybody, Sean or Roger, are any of you like, or either of you, I should say,
I think
disagree?
I think it's the worst, but I have two thoughts. I think if it had been a single Moogle event in one of the areas, I would be like, that was really annoying, but okay. The fact that it
like
happens
5 of them
a bunch of times area is like, why? Why do you do this in every area?
I did do all of them, just to clarify, Roger. I did do all of them of that one.
But I will say again, hearing Cloud go Koopo did make it better. I did like that.
It was so weird. I mean, it was funny. I didn't have
strong feelings about the Moogles. Like, it was fine. I was actually pretty good at it. So, like, I didn't have rage-inducing moments because I would usually get it on, like, the first or second try. But I did think it was a little dumb. So, like, for me, it'd probably be in C, but I'm also fine with it being in D. Like, I don't know why it needed to be there.
You're not upset if we put it at like the very bottom?
No.
Okay. Fort Condor. I put Fort
Normal
Condor.
Mode or hard mode? Did you do the hard modes?
I think I did all the modes for this one. Because I kind of had fun with it, and I liked how they sort of made fun of themselves with the way they looked and their pixelated bodies and stuff. Like when it first started, I was like, what's happening? But in an excited, happy way. And then when I had to see the instructions, I was like, oh, wait, I didn't realize this was going to be complicated. And I feel like that's my first thought for any mini game that's more than just like Pirates Rampage. I'm like, no, I just want to keep playing the regular game. But then once I get sucked into it, I'm like, this is kind of fun. So I put this one in the middle. I could see like having it a little higher up because I did actually genuinely have fun with this. But I feel like there were a couple times that even if you did everything you were supposed to, as you know, it tells you like, well, this color negates this one, or at least it fights it better and all these things. I don't know. I feel like sometimes it still didn't really work out. And when it did work out, it felt like sometimes it was like, I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know what I did differently that time, but I'll take it. So that's why I have it in the middle. But Roger, I'm curious what you think of this one.
Of the two tower defense modes, I think this one is the better version of it because there's like two of those like lane style ones where you put stuff in the lanes. And I think this one was better than that one. So I'd say it's probably like slightly above Run Wild, but not in A tier. It'd be in B for me. It's like, okay.
Okay. Sean, I don't think
but I'm not a League of Legends style person.
Yeah, I watched like a couple rounds, but it seems like a mobile game, you know, tower defense thing. It's like, it's fine, but
Yeah, I feel like the camp of it all was kind of what gave it some charm.
Probably more so for you because you played the original. So them looking hideous like that is probably more like, oh. For me, I'm like,
Yes, that's
why do they
what
look
when it
like this?
started. Well, what's funny is it still looks so much better than before, you know? It's like the PS5 version. Could you imagine if this is how they actually remade the game? If it looked like this? That would be Sean,
They
you
would
love that idea.
they would only capture the like hardcore fans. I don't think they'd get very many new fans,
No.
except for maybe
No.
kids.
Which, by the way, Sean's always like, is this rated T for teen? Because some of the he's like, I don't think this is the same categorization of T for teen as when we were kids.
Dude, they swear
Does he
like
ma-
sailors in this game. I feel like compared to like T games when we were growing up is like, I don't know, you might have gone rogue with like damn, you know, like a damn in there, but I don't know. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Times are changing.
Yeah, Barrett has a number of things in combat that he says especially that I find really funny. But
There's some eyebrow raising things in the gym too, which I
Yep.
do like those.
I was gonna say that, but I was like, maybe we'll wait till the crunch off moment. But anyway, okay. So Dolphin Escape. I debated considering this a mini game because I'm like, is it? I don't know.
Can
but
you
I figured we'd
replay it?
count
I mean, I guess this is. Can you? Can you go back and do it again?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess it's
Yeah.
a mini game then.
Roger.
Because you do it the first time as part of the story, and then you do it later on as like a proper, like scored mini game. I mean, it was okay. Probably
Yeah.
bottom of B for me. Like, I don't
Yep.
have very strong feelings either way. It's totally fine-ish. The dolphin's kind of annoying to control sometimes, especially with the drifting, where you're like, "Where are you going?"
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you hit something, and you're like, "Damn it!"
The chocobo drifting is much cleaner, I
Yeah,
think, because it's like an
yeah.
actual proper slide as opposed to this like just skips across the water. Yeah, Sean, I put it there already, but would
Yeah,
you
I
say
have
that too?
no strong feelings one way or the other about dolphins.
Cool. Okay.
I mean, I like dolphins, real
Yeah.
animals.
Well, it's such a weird, like, the actual literal part in the story is so bizarre because you're getting ready for this epic moment, and then it's like, like, what? I mean, I think it was in the original, if I'm not mistaken. I think I need to double check this. Hold on, because I got to see what it looked like. Original dolphin. Let me see if this is accurate. I think it is. Yeah, it is. Why is this a thing? I must have cleared that from my mind. Anyway, that's pretty funny. I'll show you a shot in just a second, but we'll move on to the next one. I did not like Cactuar Crush. I would put this in C tier. Did you like it?
It was so dramatically different. Like Aerith's was so annoying, and then
Yeah.
Yuffie's was so easy because you're just like windstorm, windstorm, windstorm. They're all dead, and then Aerith, you're like, oh damn it! Now I have to like step out and bonk it with a stick, and then I have to warp back and change the element. It was like really irritating with Aerith. So I maybe
agree.
C because like Yuffie's was like not fun. It was just easy, and then Aerith's was irritating.
I wasn't a fan, and I feel like I would think I was doing well, and then I would just barely get it.
Yeah,
And I was thinking, I don't, and you had to do it all the way, but I'm like, am I doing like, I don't know how I could have done better. So
yeah, because there's hard modes of those too, and I'm just the Yuffie ones are still easy. Like Yuffie was fine. It wasn't like, oh yay. But Aerith was like, I hate this. This is so stupid. The dark ward versus the light ward, and then you have to step out of it for the melee ones and bonk them in the face.
Sean, I think you agreed, right?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, not fine. It looked frustrating.
Yeah.
I didn't try that one personally. I think probably because I knew it would make me mad. I was like, I don't want to do it.
The Yuffie ones were fine. She should have just given it to you whenever it was Yuffie's turn, because those were just like windstorm, windstorm, windstorm.
I'm gonna show really quick the other. Let's see. Let me share the dolphin thing. Where is it? Okay. Look at this dolphin thing from the original. I'll move us so you can see it better. Look at that. It's on the right hand side. Why? Why is this game so? I mean, I'm a big fan, but it's so weird. Anyway, so there you go. It was a good time. I kind of wish, Sean, that you could have experienced the original dolphin jump.
He still can.
Yeah.
I do have the original still. We just got to figure out a console to play it on.
Or just get the digital download of it on PS5.
Ah, yeah, that's true.
Because we have it. I think Alex started playing it and then it was too ugly. And then now I'm like, I kind of want to know what the hell is going on in this story because I'm still so lost after the second game that I'm like, maybe if I went back and played that, it would make more sense of like what's going on.
Read all of the dialogue. And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually do surprisingly enjoy reading weirdly. I know that's a really novel concept for this group of people.
Well, the Barrett dialogue is just a bunch of like the @ symbol, the hashtag, like because his cursing, they just constantly have that when he gets really mad, which is pretty funny. I definitely like Barrett a lot more in the remake than, or I guess Rebirth, remake and Rebirth. You know what I mean? Than the original. But anyway, okay. Next up, we have the motorcycle racing in the oh my gosh, what is it called?
Golden Saucer.
Yeah. So motorcycle racing. I thought this one was fine. It was cool, but I don't know. I didn't have strong feelings either way.
The controls
What
are kind
about
of
you
annoying.
guys?
I don't have strong feelings. It's still the controls were really annoying. Just like drifting up the side, and then you'd have to like let go of the accelerator, try to pull yourself back to hit the stupid little blue things to keep your life meter up. It's fine. Probably
I thought
bottom
it could
of
have
B for
been
me.
cooler. I'd say B. Or is
Yeah,
that too
I
high?
think no, I'd say B because it didn't make me mad. It was just whatever. Are we putting it ahead of the other things in the B tier? Or we think it's fine where
I
it
think it's
is? Like,
fine.
should we put it ahead
Maybe
of
ahead of
Dolphin?
Dolphin. Yeah, maybe ahead of Dolphin.
Well,
Yeah, it's probably a
Roger
little better.
hated the toads, so should we move the toads over?
Dude, I hate the stupid
And
friggin' frogs.
okay, I think we'll do it like that.
That's
Okay,
fair.
that one was easy. Okay, Crunch Off. I put this in A tier because it was like the right kind of angry, you know? Like because I would always be like, I'm so close, and then I'd have to do it again. I don't think I stopped. Once I started, I'm like, I'm gonna get this. And that made me
I can
happy. But I
confirm that.
also can see people thinking this is D tier because it's just so, for some people, it's the hardest one. It's that, I think, Roger, we talked about it. It's the trigger button, you know, where you're like, you don't press all the way, where you're like, okay, but there's no resistance. So yeah. Where would you put it?
I would put it somewhere in between B and C, probably, just because it was just like tiring for my hands between that. And then there were sometimes that you had to like mash it, and then like sometimes you had to push it and then push it, and then just like, and then it would be annoying. Sometimes you'd be getting in your rhythm and you'd screw it up, and then it would reverse and go the other way. And I was like, what is this?
Well, when it got off the rhythm was really rough because I feel like you get into, because sometimes I feel like it's almost not even tracking, like you get to where it is, but it doesn't, because if you mess up, it'll show you where it is and it slows it down. You're like, no, I got that timing built into my fingers now. You pretty much can't mess up, I would say, to get this one at the top. Sean, where would you put it?
I obviously was not the one who was victorious, but I did play this one, and I thought it was fun, actually. Like I think it's challenging, but you can get good at it. You know, like some of them, I think you're just like, I'm never gonna be good at that. You know, it's just dumb luck or whatever. That one I actually thought you could practice enough where, I mean, if you wanted to, you know, where you could beat it. And
it didn't feel mechanistically unfair. It just made my hands tired.
And it was
like
such a weird thing that there was just like these dudes working out in a gym.
I liked the squats better. I like the squat one better from the first game. Yeah.
I saw a thing online that made me laugh where someone's like, oh my gosh, a real life Final Fantasy VII mini game. And it was somebody playing darts, which that made me laugh. So I wonder now if like that same joke will apply to working out. But Sean brought this up earlier, but the things that they shout in the background at that gym are amazing. The like eat it lactic acid, but I'm making it a little more PG. Was hilarious. That was great. Because I was like, wait, hold on. What did that guy just say? So the amount of weird things that would come out of their mouths. They're all so supportive of each other. I thought it was hilarious. So
I know I'm kind of between S and A tier. I might go
S
A
and
tier.
A.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Okay.
A.
Roger, you said
I'm saving
did you
my
say
S tiers.
I think B for me, so it's gonna end up in A.
Okay, I think that's fair.
Bottom, maybe.
You think bottom of A?
I think it's ahead of both of those other ones.
I think it's ahead of. I think it might be ahead of. Well, I mean, I put Pirates Rampage at the top, but I would say it's ahead of the other one. But we already kind of decided those are there. So I'll let you guys decide. Should it go ahead of Pirates Rampage or should it?
You didn't even beat it, Sean. You don't get an opinion. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I don't get an opinion. Roger, what do you think?
I mean,
you want it there.
B.
You want it there.
I want it in B, but like I'm allowing it to be in A.
I can't see what's coming up next anymore. We're on the bottom.
Oh, next up is
it's a surprise.
Next up is Desert Rush. Just so you can see it, I'll go ahead and put it in the middle. Or I'll put it up here just so you can see it. I didn't like this one. I feel like it was
where you break the boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm putting this one in C.
That's fair. I mean, it's not fun. It's just kind of annoying. And you just have to remember which path to take where the box was. Like, it's not a fun mini game.
What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, I didn't think it was special.
I think I especially was frustrated.
It was the area with Solemn Gus.
I knew you were going to bring that up. Sean has a weird love.
Solemn Gus.
He's like, Solemn Gus is like a top tier character.
He is.
I don't even remember who that is.
The weird guy that like kidnaps you.
Like, you know, like the funk music is just playing behind him all the time, and also he's a criminal, terrible person, but he's a groovy guy.
He's the one that kidnaps you and your party before you have to do the chocobo racing, and then he forces you to do the chocobo racing. So Sean loves
his wild. Like his entire vibe is amazing. Like he's just like dancing and grooving, and
his hype men just repeat what he says.
He has hype guys behind him. He's amazing.
Well,
and that brings up Desert Rush for you? Is that what you're saying? Because it's in his vicinity, that his aura of just aura.
Yeah.
So Sean would put this ahead of the Cactar.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's probably
I think for me,
because I didn't get enraged by the boxes. Unlike Aerith's dumb butt, where you're like, can you please, for the love of God, move, girl? You're in boots, not heels. Like, move.
I have no problem saying that I don't know that I 100% dialed into what I was even supposed to do, because I was so ready, because I knew we were going to have to do chocobo racing. So I was like, okay, we're going to do a mini game here in a sec. And then it forces you to do this mini game. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. Why am I doing this? I just want to like get the greens or whatever I have to get for before the chocobo race. So I think I was just in a hurry to get through it. And I was like, I don't know, whatever. I understand the basics, maybe. And I just wanted to finish. So I feel like maybe my ranking's not very fair, but that's where it is. All right, Sean. Next one. Shinra, Junon, March.
Dude, S.
Where is this going?
S
okay.
Tier. It's the best.
I would put it in A, but I'm not mad about it being an S.
I was the one who got the high score. The high score that needed.
That's true.
That's probably why it's in S tier for me, because I'm like, I did it. I contributed.
Okay, I'll put it there for now. Sean, did you want to elaborate as to why you thought it was so fun?
Also, I just want to say this game's insane. I mean, like, I think, like I said, the toad part where I was like, what? They're toads? And then shortly after, we rode a dolphin around to get up to the spot. I'm like, what's going on? And then the next big thing is you're basically in like a dance competition. I mean, it was one thing after the other where I was like, is this the best game ever made? I don't know, because like It's so weird. Anyways, this is when I first was like, I like this game. This is a good game.
Well, you also were questioning. You're like, how do they already know how to do everything?
Yeah.
Like Aerith and Tifa are spinning the guns and stuff. Yeah.
And Cloud is just like marching weirdly and pointing.
I did like how much the soldiers backed him up, where they're just like, we follow you no matter what.
Yeah.
The camaraderie was really entertaining. Roger, I don't know. Are you thinking in agreement, or are you like, I hated this?
I didn't like it. I probably would put it, if it was me, probably in C, just because I don't think it's a very well-designed minigame, because you almost don't even get to enjoy what they're doing, because you're having to pay attention to trying to get the perfect on timing the boxes and what box you need to hit. So I feel like you don't even really get to enjoy the silly stuff. And I just remember the stupid announcer always in the background, like, oh, they're really warm. Oh, shut up, lady. Like, my God. So I found it kind of annoying.
I did like it when it would be, they'd be really like, you're doing great, and you make one mistake and like, they look really bad out there, or, you know, whatever.
They even practice?
Yeah. It's like, oh.
Yep. Sean and I had the exact same thought at the same time. Okay, so you would put it in C. I would put it in A. Sean would put it in S. So I feel like maybe we could go top of B.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Or bottom of A.
Top of B seems somewhere in there.
Okay. Yeah, that works for me. Are we gonna have any S tier?
Hit like Sean's intense love of that.
I loved it.
You would just like the weirdest ones. You like them just because they're weird.
Pretty much, yeah.
Not even like looking at the minigame itself, like, is this a good or interesting minigame? You're just like, oh, it was the moment that I realized that Final Fantasy VII is just really weird.
Just bonkers.
Next up is just Chocobo Racing, which I would put in A, but I'm also happy with it in S tier because it was a lot of fun. What do you guys think?
I got the first place on this one too, I think.
Mm-hmm. I don't even think I played it much.
It was fine. I guess like my standards were too high. It looks like it wants to be Mario Kart, but it does not feel at all like Mario Kart. So I would say like B.
You would say B, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm putting in A, you would put in B. Roger, what did you think of the Chocobo Racing?
I
think there's more
racing.
Okay. There's more that we could do.
I loved it in Chocobo Racing.
Okay.
It was one of the best designed, one of the most fair feeling mini games in the entire thing, where it didn't feel like there was ever up to chance. It's just like, I hit the stupid pole because I'm dumb. Like, it was never, unlike the frogs, where I felt like sometimes it's just because the camera twisted and I couldn't actually see what I was doing. The Chocobo Racing always felt fair.
Do you think for you?
Not a big weird factor in Chocobo Racing. So I don't know.
Not yet. There is a mecha chocobo that you can win in the final side quest that you might like better. Because then it gets weird.
Nice.
Would you say, Roger, that that's fair? Top of A?
Yeah.
Because I had an A, Sean said B, and you said S. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, next up, the piano mini game. Bottom for me. I hated it so much. I hated it. Not as much as Moogle Mischief. But to me, it drove me crazy. I feel like the timing isn't good.
I lost my mind. I still loved it. I love the piano.
I think it's S tier.
No, you don't. Stop.
Yeah, I do. No, it's
really.
It's another one where I think you could practice and get good at it. Like it doesn't.
I mean, sometimes
I don't think it's unfair. Like,
okay,
like the chords are hard. Doing both is hard, but it's doable. You can get good at it.
I do want to add that we worked together. You would do the right hand and I would do the left.
I know, but
cheaters.
But what I'm saying though is like, if you're like Sean, you have to pick a mini game to like practice and beat. I would so much rather do the piano than like any of these other ones, pretty much. Like I can't think of a single one where I'm like, oh yeah, I really want to do that for hours.
Rather actually play a piano is like
it brought back all the childhood memories of Dance Dance Revolution, and I had a lot of fun with the piano. It was my favorite one, so I would put it in S.
No. Okay, so it's got to balance out, right? Because you guys are saying S, I'm saying D. So top of B, is that fair?
No, because it's two S's to one.
I know, but it's the very top of B. What about there?
We need to put point values to the different tiers so we can figure out. where it belongs.
No, I don't want to.
I feel like that's
this.
fair. It got dragged up higher because there was 2 of us. That seems
Okay.
fair.
Okay.
I saw online, Roger.
Did you do it with the? Because there was like you could change the speed of how fast
Yeah,
the
I
thing went.
know.
I think it matched it better, right? Did it match
I
the
know.
tempo ever?
I tried. It just was sucky all around for me. I saw somebody online on Reddit that was like, if you have even a basic knowledge of music, it's pretty easy. And I'm like, well, I guess I don't have a degree because I can't do it. And also,
I mean,
I'm just like,
there was one that I was terrible at because you do eventually get the sheet music for One Winged Angel or whatever the hell Sephiroth's theme music is, and that thing is a friggin' nightmare because I don't know the music either. So I was like, so many.
Was it the one that sounds like they're saying Sephiroth?
Yeah.
Or they're like chanting Sephiroth's name? Yeah.
Yeah. That one is really hard.
I feel like the Barrett one seemed ridiculous. Because it didn't seem like it matched well at all. Anyway, I can't stand it. So
and yet it's still an A tier, so
I didn't realize you disliked it that much.
I hate it. I tried and I'm like, I can't.
Better than the dumb frogs fighting the dang camera. It deserves to be where it is.
Well, we're not gonna have any S tiers, are we? This is sad.
Well, okay, yeah, if we're gonna argue.
Because you like games just for the weird factor.
Okay. And then what, Roger? Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. What's next?
Queen's Blood, S tier, please. It's so good. Roger, don't fight us, please. It's good.
Does Sean agree?
It's well
he hasn't
designed.
said anything.
It's pretty cool, and the music is absolutely killing. So, yeah.
Okay.
So I would probably put it personally in A, just because of some of the later ones in the Gold Saucer when you have to do the final side quest and you have to do a bunch of the mini games on a harder difficulty setting with like higher scores. There's like this gauntlet version of it where you have to survive like 10 rounds and have the overall high score, and I hate that. I hated it so much. But the regular Queen's Blood, where it's just you versus one person, was fun.
Did you do all of the extra Queen's Blood stuff at Costa del Sol too, and the puzzles? And then did you find the really weird lady, and then you have to totally change your play style? Which, by the way, speaking of weird, like that got so weird. I was like, is this Yu-Gi-Oh? What's happening? Because like Vincent shoots and Cloud, what does Cloud say? He says something like game over or something really dramatic and stuff when he like stabs it, and it was
so Sean's favorite moment when Red 13 is dressed up in like a little guard outfit trying to pretend to be human to play Queen's Blood.
That was pretty good, but not as good as what he's describing. That ending sequence is amazing.
Oh, when you start fighting the like weird queen, yeah, it gets really weird.
I love Queen's Blood a lot. I think it's great. I saw
it's
Roger.
One of the best designed ones. That and then Chocobo Racing, I think, are like probably their better design menu games.
I agree. I mean, I think they knew. I think they tried a lot more on those. I saw someone. It was really sad. I think it was on Square Enix's page on Instagram where they were like, "Let us know your tips for playing Queen's Blood" or something, right? And one person's like, "It mostly comes down to luck, so just do whatever." And that person got annihilated in the comments where people were making fun of them and like, "Oh, I don't think you know how to play." It was kind of sad, but it was.
I mean, there are some elements of that, like in any card game, where you have to get the right hand, but like, there is also some skill involved in building your deck and not sucking.
Yeah. For me, a big thing was like, I actually felt like just primarily having cards that only required one to get out for almost all of your deck. And then having cards that you could like replace those ones with. And then it would like destroy the enemy cards. Those, I feel like that's where it was at. I feel like you get the flashy, fancy cards. I think to your point though, I have a card that if you put it out, then every time the enemy plays, it goes up a point. So if you get that out early, by the end of the game, it's worth a ton.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So I don't know. I thought it was really fun. And I liked the puzzles a lot. I thought that was great. They really put a lot into Queen's Blood. I can understand though, for people that don't like it, they do sort of kind of require you to play it a little. Where like a fair amount of the other ones, you can just be like, whatever, and suck and then move on and never play them again. But
Yeah.
Queen's Blood kind of lingers, and I think if you don't like it, then it's brutal. But I loved it. So every time we got to a new area, I was like, who's here to play Queen's Blood? I loved it.
But are we?
Okay.
Is it S tier then? Did Roger agree to this?
I said A. So I mean, I feel like
He
two
said-
S's to one
okay.
A drags it up.
It's the only one that I think we've all put that high of a point value to.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one I can't have an opinion on because I didn't even try because I was kind of like burnt out on mini games, and that would be, what is it called? Like Gears and Gambit or something. I'm gonna put it at the top just for a sec so you guys can see it.
I thought it was stupid. I hated it.
And it's basically
I
the same
can't
thing
really
as
say.
Fort Condor, but not as well designed. So for me, it'd probably be in C. I didn't hate it, but it's like fine.
I'm going D.
Okay. I think bottom of C is fair. If one of you says a little higher and the other says lower, what do you think? I think that
That's
makes
fair.
sense.
I mean, it's not
Okay.
a great one, and it's kind of the same thing as Fort Condor.
Okay, the next one, I'm calling it specifically Cosmo Chocobo, which is where you have to like drift and go up and down and stuff like that in Cosmo Canyon. Loved it. S tier for me. I thought it was so fun. It was challenging. It was like the right, I'm putting it there just for now, unless you guys disagree. I thought it was the right amount of challenging. And you kind of had to actually strategize on like the last one, right? Where Sean, we had to like turn around and get the air current again and go up. And I thought it was really fun. Roger, I don't know if I like this face you're making. Did you hate it? We did get the highest.
I hate it.
No.
I think it's S tier too, by the way.
Okay.
No.
No.
I'd probably put it in
Roger.
D. It was one of the ones that made me the most angry of having to repeat over and over and over and over and over and over because I sucked at it. So I hated it.
Okay, but just to so we know, did you feel like it was poorly designed, or is it really rooted
Sometimes
in like
because I feel like it was like weird, and like sometimes it felt like things weren't like the height of certain things were just barely off enough that you had to start doing what you were talking about, especially on the last one where you couldn't dive far enough to get back up to get the last one unless you kind of turned around and like went back. Like I hated it.
There was one time I tried where I went back around multiple times because I'm like, whoops. And then I'd make a dumb mistake because I know what you're talking about when you just like, I swore I hit that, but I guess I didn't. So if I can swing back around, I'll swing back around. We had so much fun with this one though. I think it was for us the right level of challenging where it was actually kind of enjoyable to try again.
Well, it
But
has to
then
get dragged down to at least
like,
A because
"Yeah."
that's what happened to the piano. We both gave it S and you gave it D, so it doesn't get to stay in S.
Sean, would you say it's above the piano though?
No, you're not. It's fine.
No.
You can put it above.
Oh, okay.
Yes, put it behind the
Okay.
piano. The piano's better.
No. So there, Sean.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. And then last is I just called it solo battle. So bringing up Solemn Gus again. There's like a quest with Tifa where there's a girl who's like maybe trafficked that you're trying to rescue.
I'm not
the
saying
girl.
Solemn Gus is a perfect guy. Just saying.
Gosh.
We don't know what happened.
Yeah, okay. And so I where did I put this one originally? I think I put this one in C tier because for me
Some of them were
kind of-
really easy.
Yeah, some of them were easy, and then the one where like Aerith has to go against the bombs was weirdly hard. Some of them were just a lot. I don't
Unless
know.
you're really strategic with your materia because you just put elemental link to fire in her armor and then the bombs are easy, but like it's not very well balanced across the different characters.
That's how I felt. Yeah. So do we feel in agreement that it's okay to put this one in C?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel offended
just-
that you don't have Loveless. You have the stupid
Okay.
baton twirling.
Yeah, I don't know why Loveless didn't feel as much like a mini game. I think it's because there was no potential prep for it. Like the Shinra one, you could like
is that the story, the acting thing?
Yeah.
Where they're like,
Yeah, I
very
agree. Where
Shakespearean.
is it?
Okay, I can hold on. I can bring it up.
No,
Just give me a
don't-
sec.
Don't go to any trouble.
Okay, so the reason I didn't is because it's more. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's the same kind of mechanic as the Shinra March, but the Shinra March, it's like you get points and you want to do it again because like there's kind of more to
Loveless,
it
you
than
have to
just
do it again if you're going to get the platinum. You have to do it and have each of the different people be in it. So then you have to go back to the chapter select and tell it that you want to
Uh-oh.
date somebody different so that you
Yeah,
can get them.
I'm not doing all that. That's see, this is the difference. You're a completionist when it comes to this kind of stuff, and I'm like, do I care enough? No. So it doesn't. I did watch Sean
And
and
I
I
really
watched the
love being able
whole.
to tell either Barrett or Red 13 that they're your true love and then their responses to it.
What are the responses?
You're going to have to go back and play it.
That is pretty funny, but I yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I just wouldn't consider it a mini game. I had fun with it. It was really weird, but I just don't think I thought of it as a mini game, but it seems like you guys don't mind that I don't have it here.
S tier. The weird was way up. So, you know.
That was really
Hold
weird.
on.
Like, it also didn't make any sense. I was like, are they watching this? Are they performing this? Is it both? I don't know what's happening. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, I was gonna try to add it, but I just realized I think I'd have to re-upload all the images and stuff, and I don't want to deal with that.
Although it does include Aerith singing, which is a big thumbs down because nobody likes
it. But the singer was incredible. I was like, wow,
that's
that
true.
person actually is like quite phenomenal. I mean,
Aerith
the music in this game has been top tier. But
you don't
I'm
even
like,
play music because you don't have a foundational enough music knowledge to play the
That's true. What do I even know? Okay, so looking again at our ranking, do we want to adjust anything? Do we want to put the Chocobo Racing at the top? Do we feel like it's good enough to have in S tier? Because do we really want Queen's Blood to be the only thing up there?
I think it's fine. Being the only
You think
thing
it's fine? Okay.
We could put Loveless up there. We can have like a little just Loveless right up there.
Roger,
pretend there's a little heart up there.
Would you want to
I love the
adjust
Choco
anything
Racing, so I'd like it in S. Sean's the only dumb one who doesn't.
All right, I can be persuaded.
Because he wants it to be Mario Kart 64 or something through his nostalgia goggles.
I feel like that's fair. I mean, it is one of the games that has more to it that they put a lot of effort in, I think.
Especially when you got to play as the blue one and you got to spit the little bubble and screw the person up in front of you and they just fall over and you're like, yeah, take that. Like, it was very
satisfying. That's what I'm saying. We just need to play more of it, I think. Because it does sound like a lot of fun.
Because you have to play with the different Chocobo powers, because then you have to get the different bubbles that charge your power, and the Choco Bubble from the blue one that you get in Nebel or whatever is really rude, because it sends out this like heat-seeking bubble that just knocks the thing over in front of you, and you just got to run past them. It's really satisfying.
So basically is Mario Kart at that point. Nice.
Man, I don't know if I love the Galactic Saviors as the top of S. I don't know why. I just feel like
top of A.
You could put the Crunches up there.
Yeah. So
I feel like the Crunches is well designed.
Throw Piano up there too while you're at it. You know, like just throw Piano up into S tier.
Should we put Crunches ahead of
Yeah.
Pirates Rampage?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. And Roger, you didn't love the Shinra March, so you feel like that one should still be behind Galactic Saviors, right?
Yeah. I mean, I like it better than I like the stupid flying Chocobo, so that's fine where it's at.
Okay.
See, I think Galactic Savior should be at the end of A.
I think it should be ahead of Piano, obviously, but I think it's okay where it is, because it's a lot of our conflicting, like this section. I feel like it's where we have a lot of conflicting thoughts.
But Moogle's dead last, so you know.
Yeah, Moogle's
It's all
B tier.
I'll be curious if it stays last, if you continue on and do the final side quest and have to do the stupid Shinra Middle Manager and Sephiroth in 3D Brawler, if you're still gonna feel like it's less rage inducing than the Moogle.
Yeah, I'm sure I won't even do it. Well, there's no
You'll try it once.
Sephiroth doesn't like shake his butt at you, mocking you, or anything like dumb like the Moogle. The Moogle's mocking you is just the next thing, you know. I can't stand it. But yeah, I probably would also.
I have to pull the sound clip or something, and anytime you tell me that you die to a boss in like the Elden Ring DLC, I have to like send that to you.
If you were over and we were playing like Shadow of the Erd Tree together or something, and I messed up just so slow. I think I would have a hard time either not throwing my controller at you or like being like, knock it off. But then this motion's much harder than it should have been. But I hate it so much. Anyway, I think the rest of the ranking is pretty fine. I don't think I have too much to be upset about here, aside from the piano. That's my only. So if we all
me
had
with that stupid flying chocobo nonsense ahead of the piano, I'm like, you guys are high.
well, if we not that I'm gonna move everything around, but if we all had one veto, like we got to decide where something went, where would you put it? Is that yours, or is there something else you're more upset about than that, Roger?
No, that. I hate that
You would
stupid
put the
chocobo thing. Or I might have to go after the frogs because I really hate the frogs. I would say that
So
the
you would
chocobo
put
is
the
probably better designed than the frogs. So I might, if it was, I would put the frogs at dead last because it's stupid.
okay, Sean, what would you say your biggest gripe is?
I'm feeling all right. I would put the
Feeling
Shinra March in S tier.
Okay. Yeah, I'd put piano at the bottom. So I think it's definitely good that we have it. We learned to compromise here, but this was super
Even though you
fun.
guys cheated on the piano, I did it all
Well,
by
yeah.
myself.
You did. I mean, that's why I'm saying I think it's even poorer of a design, Sean, because you were like, you've been practicing it better, but we did well when I controlled the chords. Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I tried. I actually stayed up and tried, and I'm like, this sucks, and then I just moved on.
I feel like you didn't give the piano as much of a shot as you gave most of the other mini games. I think you.
No, I don't know if you know how much I stayed up after you went to bed and tried. I really tried, and I was upset. I think part of it.
I think you were
At
jealous
least you
of
only
my
have to get
natural.
A. At least you don't have to get them perfect. If you had to get everything perfect with the stupid star, then I would probably hate it.
I also will say that this is maybe going to sound like an excuse, and somebody who knows more about tech can say whether this is an excuse or if this is valid. But as an example of what I'm trying to describe, in Ghost of Tsushima, when we play on the PS4, it is so much easier to get a perfect dodge or perfect parry, yeah, than it like it's almost impossible on the PS5. I don't know if it has something to do with the PS5 settings or like RTV or something. Because I've heard people say you should change your settings if you want to be able to do stuff more in sync. So I don't know if it has something to do with that. Because isn't that a big thing for PC gamers? The quality isn't always as crisp, but the actual timing is often better or something.
Yeah, because they'll have really high refresh rates on their TVs. Because sometimes when you're in like 4K TV, unless you got one that has like the ultra high refresh rate for gaming, there is a little bit of like a smoothing or a blur that happens sometimes.
I wonder if it has something
like that, because we don't have like a full on gaming TV either. So like you'll notice it sometimes that like if something moves fast enough that there'll be almost like this shadow behind it.
I wonder if that's part of it. If I were to play it on something else, if I would find the timing better. But I don't know, because I'm like, well, Sean was definitely better than me at it. So it could just be that I suck.
There's only one of them that like I felt like I was always hitting it perfectly and it would always like tell me miss, and I was like, excuse you. I don't remember which song it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I told you somebody played the Xanarkin theme. They just like free played the da 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 on it, which is pretty cool. Sean's the one that showed me. I was like,
so
of course,
you gotta
someone
practice
did that.
next, Al.
Yeah,
you gotta show that you know music.
That's the thing. I would probably be better at that than trying to time it with their timing. Anyway, I
with a little
had a lot
in
of
the
fun.
background.
I hate the metronome in the background because I'm like, it's not accurate. It's not accurate. So, and the amount of times I have played scales with a metronome, and that, you know, in an orchestra, you have to be with everybody. And I'm just like, it's not on. So yeah, I can't stand it. Anyway, this was super fun. And really, I am surprised at how different people feel from one person to the next about various mini games. I don't know if there's a single mini game out there that somebody doesn't hate, because they all and like you said, Roger, it depends on how much of them you play. Some of them, the more you play, the more you like it, and the more you play, the more you hate it. So
well, some of them, it's like, I feel like you can't argue that they clearly put a lot of thought and time and made them fair. Whether or not you like them is different. Like Queen's Blood and Chocobo Racing are very well polished. Whether or not you like that style of minigame is different. But the Frogs is so poorly designed with that stupid drifting camera.
I agree about the camera. It does drive me crazy.
Like, just let me have a Frogger style camera. Just don't move the camera. Whatever. Make it isometric. I don't care. Just anything but what they did.
Yeah. Sean, did you have any final thoughts? No.
There was too many mini games would be my final thoughts. Like,
you
definitely hit mini game fatigue by the end where you're like, can I just do the damn story and like do the battles, please?
That's why
I'm over here being like, I'm hoping for more mini games in the third one.
They can't.
No.
They moved the story so little in the second game. You're just like derping around having no idea what you're doing for like 95% of it. Like, they have to actually focus and tell the story at some point, right?
Nah.
I do think they've dragged it out quite a bit. I don't think they had to do it quite like they have, but anyway.
I think in 2 games it would have been better, because this middle game was definitely filled to bloat with mini games that made it take a lot longer.
Well, I think they were like, well, now that we have the budget and it's open world, let's go wild. And they just threw everything. They weren't even like, let's see what sticks. They're like, whatever we threw at the wall is what we're going to have in the game.
I think between major releases, there should be a Solemn Gus solo outing where you just dance your way to success. It's like how he gets to where he's at. Do you think they're gonna have a Gwent side game? Not Gwent, but I mean like the Gwent thing from Witcher. Do you think they're gonna do the same thing for Queen's Blood in this?
I mean, they could.
I
feel like it's more fleshed out than Gwent was.
I would love to play other people in Queen's Blood. I think that would be a lot of fun. See other people's styles, and I can't remember what somebody said their high score was like over 100. It was 100 and something, I want to say. And I would be like, I want to see how that played out. That would be kind of.
Well, that's when you go all in on the queen card that like gets buffed when you like put detrimental status effects on other things, because you have to have those cards that like just continuously get buffed.
Yeah, after I beat the lady at the end, you can go back and replay her because there's just that thing sitting, and I think my highest was 80 something. But I think this person got a high score just normal, not even with that card in play. So I don't know how they did that.
Well, I mean, there's other styles of cards like that, right? Because then you have the Dio card that's the opposite, where when other cards get buffed, he also gets a buff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's definitely cards that get upped, but I just don't even know how you get so many enough out that you would get every single. You'd probably have to get every single row, and they'd all have to be buffed. But then I'm like, how did you? Because I think at some point you'd have to replace cards in order to get.
But then you also have to have the cards that give you +10, like the Choco Jockey, and then that weird mammoth thing, right? That if you win the row, you get plus a certain amount.
Yeah, I think was it Tifa that has that too? She gets like +6 or something, I thought. Anyway, we don't need to talk about Queen's Blood. This was super fun. Had a good time. I would say that I don't mind a lot of the mini games. I just would prefer, like I liked at the saucer how it was kind of you can go and play them again if you want, but that you don't have to have like Sean, what you were saying about how you like how it went from like there's frogs and then there's the dolphin and then there's the shimmer thing. Where for me, I'm like, can I just get back to playing this game, please? So I think I get frustrated when there's too many all in a row that you kind of have to do. That's why when we got to the whatever the Gears one is, that one you don't have to do, but I was like, I don't want to do this because I'm done with mini games. So I like a lot of the mini games. I think that some of them are really well designed. I like a lot of the nostalgia in them and the nods to other things, but I might be with you, Roger, where there's maybe a few too many.
Well, because some of them start to feel too similar, because like Fort Condor and the Gambits one are almost the same style of game. They're just, one of them's more Final Fantasy-esque and one of them's more like League of Legends feeling, but like they're the same game.
Yeah, they're similar. So I would love to know for anybody that ends up watching this, where would you rank certain things? What's your least
Frogs
favorite?
should be last.
What's your favorite?
Put the frogs last.
I know. Thanks so much, though. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you later. Bye.